Do you know you can be the loudest and you can also be the most aggressive individual in your pact and still be a pathetic communicator? Welcome to Conversations with Mumina, and today we are going to talk about how to be a good communicator my way. A little background about myself. I'm not the loudest. I have a very thin voice. That's why I actually talk with a mic. I know you might think, oh my god, she's so loud. No, I'm not that loud. I cannot scream so loudly. Have I always had confidence? Yeah, I've always had confidence. My mom brought me up knowing that I need to be confident. I create my space. All through high school, I was very confident. Those who know me will tell you, all through campus. But funny thing, I am a very introverted person. I'm very selective with people who I associate with, and I also believe I'm a very good communicator. Now, where did my communication start shaping up? When I cleared high school, I started doing promos, like immediately promoting a certain brand. There was Nakumat then, Apple Prestige. I was doing that. So I remember when I went to that training, I was very young. I didn't even have an ID, so I used my mom's ID, and the lady was like, "You have the looks." We thank God for that. But if you don't communicate, if you don't know how to talk and articulate your wants and your needs, no one will ever take you seriously. For like 2 weeks, we will go to town at 7 a.m. We'll get trained about how to talk to people. It wasn't 2 weeks exactly. It was like a week and some few days, and then we were placed. Those of us who are lucky only found out later that we were being exploited anyway. That lady told us that whether you know or don't know, the difference between you and the person who will be heard is how you communicate. And then she gave us role plays, and that is where I think my communication journey started. So when I joined campus, I continued with my promo days. Those who know me can attest to that. Sometimes I used to have like 2 or 3 promo jobs, and I will still make it. Anyway, now let's talk about what is communication and why it's important. Communication is basically passing information from one person to another through a medium. But you see, for you to be able to pass information, it's just not talking. You can be talking and no one is listening. So when you want to be an effective communicator, you have to understand who your audience is. And who your audience is predetermined by so many other factors. There's the aspect of age. Of course, when I'm talking to school going or to university students, I'll definitely have to adjust my language. When I am talking to people who are working, I'll definitely also have to adjust my language. When you're talking to a person who is senior and who is busy, you need to make sure that you understand that this person does not have the time. You need to make sure that your communication is clear and very concise. Do not start giving paragraphs. Do not start beating around the bush, telling stories. No, go straight to the point. There's some situation that allows you to tell stories like what I have just done. So how do you do that? You practice. You know, we are in the social media era. Go on live, start talking to strangers, trying to understand their issues, because you'll get people with all types of manners, all types of backgrounds, or even create content on the same. Post content and also learn how to write back. Communication is not just about verbal cues like the facial expressions, the moving of the hands, the written, how you're writing to people also matters. That is why I started by saying you can be the loudest, you can be the most confident, you can be the most aggressive and still be a pathetic communicator. It is very possible. Do not be that person who cannot communicate, because if you cannot communicate, you cannot lead, you cannot be heard, and you will not have influence. Unless you're in IT, like your thing is on machines full day. That's the only way that you can actually avoid having people skills like communicating and understanding your audience. People have been cushioned to become so timid that they think that when you talk about your issues, well, you're trying to intimidate them or you're trying to step on their powers. It's quite unfortunate. But regardless of the situation, please learn how to be a confident speaker, a confident communicator. Usimeze maneno, don't swallow your words. Be clear. Even if your voice is very tiny like mine, make sure that you try as much as you can to be audible. Like when I go to a podium, I always make sure that I look for a mic, because I know I cannot shout as loud, but I need to be heard. So understand yourself, understand your strengths. I believe I have good public speaking traits. Yes, I believe that, because even when I was in high school, I still do. Maybe in the next video we should be talking about how to own your presence on the stage, and I'll try as much as I can to do that video on a stage so that we have like physical showing you of what I do. Anyway, let's have a small recap on what I've talked about. You need to understand your message. Even if you have 2 minutes, don't speak nonsense. The pros, the cons, the past, the whatever, any research about that topic. Even if it's 5 minutes, make sure that you know what you're going to talk about. The second thing is understand your medium. How are you going to deliver that message? Is it via phone? Is it via Zoom? Is it physical? Are you going to be on a stage? Is it a panel? Because it also influences a lot of things when it comes to preparedness and nonverbal cues, that is eye contact, movement, body movement, how you need to avoid twitching. If it's in a podium, you're seated, the postures are also important, how you're going to sit, because also how you sit is a form of communicating. It's communicating confidence, fear, aggressiveness, timidness, all that. Another thing, you need to understand your audience. Who are you talking to? What do they want? What are their problems? What are their pain points? How are you going to address all that? You have to, for you to capture their attention. So you cannot go to people who are suffering and you start telling them, I want you to give me money so that I can give you a loan for building a house, and they're already struggling with food. No, that will not make sense. This will also influence your research. If you don't do your research well, you will not get the pain points of your audience and you will fail terribly at that. Another thing, when you're communicating, remember, it's not about you. It's about the people you're talking to. So understand them, look at them, see their reactions, ask questions, engage them, make sure that they are listening. You're not talking to yourself, you're talking to an audience of people. And of course, understand the language that you're going to use. Do not say that you can speak fluently German or French and then you're taken to an audience that people speak French and you cannot deliver. No, do not lie about the language. Is very, very important, because if they cannot understand, you cannot communicate. You can also get a translator who will actually translate what you're saying in the right way without tweaking your message. And remember to be kind, human, and to not be so controlling with your audience. That's the only way that you will actually have any meaningful engagement. If you're a leader, you're trying to lead a people or an audience or a county or a nation, you have to let your people talk to you. People value where they are heard, and when they value you, they hear your message and buy whatever you're telling them. That is a fact. You have to learn how to get people to value your message, your organization, whatever you're doing, your business and such. It is very, very important. Mastery is important. Mastering your art, your profession, mastering your language, mastering your product, your service is very, very important. But if you don't learn how to communicate it well, nothing will happen for you. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know some of the things that have worked for you or your audience or your organization to be a good communicator, to be a good leader. And let me know. We also learn. This is basically me sharing some of my experiences, and you let me know what you'd like me to talk about. I have a ton of experiences. Like, I have done a lot of things. I am still yet to do more great things. So definitely I am willing to share so that we can grow and be better individuals, be better professionals together. Thank you for watching, and remember to stay great, and remember to stay hard. Be hard to change the world. You cannot change the world if you're not hard. If no one is listening to you, you can't do anything. So plan to be hard, and be hard the right way. Do not be hard with negativity all the time. Do not associate with negativity. I know we say that no publicity is bad, even negative publicity is good, but you might lose while capitalizing on negativity. Let's work on positivity and stay subscribed. Thank you for watching, and until next time, bye. Stay subscribed.